There we go. Now the formal introduction. Hey everybody. So we poked around Stellaris last week and found a lot of limitations with Necroids given the ethos that we had. So I decided to, well, you guys decided, actually, I left it up to poll, to start again instead of picking up the Trebo Necro Kingdom, just the Wendigos. So let me go over the species I've set up. This is what they look like. I tried to continue the sort of deer-horned species design, as you can see. They are the Wendigo for the species name. As far as traits go, they are intelligent, conformist, sedentary, non-adaptive, and traditional. I figured that was sort of Wendigo-esque, as close as I could get it. Then the subservient species looks just like humans. They're called Wendigo slaves. I was thinking of cubs, but I think slaves is honestly probably a closer approximation as to what they really are. Name list is just generic humans, and traits, they are conformist, industrious, weak, and fleeting. So as you can see, we don't have the super long longevity sort of tech or species traits yet, but that's something that I will plan on getting. Wendigo Prime is the name of the homeworld. It's going to be an Arctic frozen world. I think that's in keeping with the Wendigos. And then it's going to be a necrophage origin, obviously. As far as the government and ethics, we are going to be authoritarian and fanatic xenophobe, which I think is probably pretty perfect given who the Wendigos are and what they're about. It's just the Wendigos, straightforward. Here's the flag, the ship appearance, and then the ruler is... this was not supposed to be High King. All-Father Glitch. Okay, I don't know why it changed the ruler title. But yeah, there we go. All-Father Glitch. So, the start of the, well, the galaxy. So let's see here. We are going to do the galaxy's small shape because anything larger in the game lasts forever. As far as AI Empire is maxed, AI starts, no advanced starts, so no one starts ahead of us except for the Fallen Empires and Marauders, of course. And then we have pretty early... I might change this a little bit. Victory year, let's set to a little bit later, like this. Giving us a little bit of time to expand because, of course, Necroids expand slowly. So this gives us sort of a cushion there. Bubble Quinn, Fangface, thanks for the resub and first sub. What's the maximum amount of stars in the game? Quite a lot. I show you, but it's screwed it up already. All right, you can go up to 1,000, but of course this is easily changeable in the mods. Like there's a lot of mods on the workshop for this, so you can mod around pretty easily. Crisis strength, okay, everything looks good. And I was gonna, I don't really love Steam Cloud, so I'm not gonna play for achievements. But I'll attempt not to what is it called? Save scum. All right, so at the very start, we are going to be given a whole lot of options. So let's keep it paused for a moment. Let's check out our researchers. So our initial researchers, I would say there's really nothing special about our initial researchers. Their focuses are just okay. There is a meticulous scientist available for hire, which is going to be pretty phenomenal. And that's probably someone I'm going to try to recruit immediately. And wow, you guys are really kicking off the bit train here. Glitz, Saichi, Jim Bob, Fangface, Sky Collective, and Loopy, and Hippie Shake, I think twice? But thank you guys. So where was I? Let's set up some policies here. So diplomatic stance, what I want to do is initially I might set up to isolationist or belligerent. I'll probably set up to isolationist because that kind of works with xenophobe. instead of expansionist. War philosophy, unrestricted. Bombardment, indiscriminate. First contact protocols, aggressive. Initial border status, closed. As you can see, we're going to be very militarized. A militarized economy, rather than a civilian one. So more allies instead of consumer goods. So consumer goods is going to be a little bit tough for us to acquire. But I think for trade policy, we'll do consumer benefits to offset the militarized economy. Robots, we'll decide on that later. We'll have you vote. Refugees, citizen species only. Population controls, slavery, and purge. So purge is going to be allowed, meaning that we will be able to purge species now because of our xenophobia. So we have the Wendigos and Wendigo slaves. And first things first, let's have us push towards those choke points, those precious, precious choke points. Oh, we have a black hole choke point, so that might be a little difficult. Now, I want to go a little bit slower than I did last time to maybe explain a little bit more fully, because I know I whipped through it very, very, very quickly last playthrough, and I'll take my time a little bit to try to explain game mechanics and those sort of things as well as you need me to. But I need to, before I do that, let me give you a taste of the Wendigo mascot. And I'm going to change my shirt because it is making me itchy. It'll be just a second. Alrighty, there we go. Is the AI in Stellaris still Garbo? It's half Garbo, I would say. You can crank up the difficulty. Yoda just turned his back to you the whole time. You can crank up the difficulty to have them pose a bit of a threat, but much like I would say the Civ series, you know, Civ 4, 5, etc. It's set up so that the AI just sort of cheats. You know how like in Civilization, when you turn up the difficulty, they just straight up cheat? Like they're just given free stuff. That's kind of similar to the way Stellaris is. But with that said, there's still the endgame crises that can pose a bit of a challenge. So right off the bat, I'm going to sell off all of my excess food. And this is to hire that very attractive scientist. And I'm going to start naming these guys. Let me open that. Open my Nightbot up, so I can start to do giveaways. So I'll warn you about the giveaways. I don't have it open yet, but I will open it in a second. And then right off the bat, I'm going to switch this scientist out for another one. And this is the meticulous scientist, so he's going to be able to find more anomalies, which can really benefit our initial phase of this. Let's set research up. And Saichi and Dennis Keith, thanks for the bits as well. And Dub and Hippie Shake. So initial research, we have a field manipulation researcher. I guess I'll get field manipulation research done. I really would rather have... No, I'm just going to go admin AI. It's fine. Then for societal, I'm going to go Unity, which works because he has an expertise in statecraft. So there's a bonus here, 15%. And then for engineering... let's see. For engineering, it doesn't really matter because his expertise is he levels up faster. I will kick off with coil guns. It took me a very, very long time in last playthrough to actually get weapons, but since this species is so much more aggressive, I think it's going to be very important for me to dig my heels in and get ready for a lot of war early on. Hey, Hatback. Okay. We have our initial armada, but I don't really have the capacity to have an admiral or anything like that. And let's get Nightbot ready to go. Okay, Nightbot is ready to start renaming stuff. So if you would like some of the initial leaders, the scientist, the governor, and Who else do we start off with? Scientist, governor. Yeah, just scientists and governors. If you want a scientist or governor to be named after you, just let me know in the chat. And it's open to everybody. So you don't need to be a sub or anything like that. There's a lot to name after stuff after people. So this choke point here, I'm a little worried about. Because black hole choke points sometimes can have leviathans, which can be deadly and terrible. But I will get another scientist ship out quickly. In fact, it's... Oh, that wasn't it. We'll get another scientist ship rolling off the line in a second here. Wow, this moon is called Fallen Angel. Could they not have... Oh, I built a construction ship? Really? Okay, whatever. I'm an idiot. It meant to be a science ship. Okay, well, I'll roll with that. It's not what I meant to do. A second construction ship will be useful, like, later down the line, but I'm going to have to move some resources around, which was very, very expensive in order to rectify this lack of a second science ship problem. Whoa, Dennis Keith. You want destroyers or cruisers named after you? The Dennis Keith class cruisers. Okay, let's get some of the initial leaders rolling out here. We'll have Dub. You are going to be my probably replaceable governor, sadly, because he doesn't really have any good traits. Alright, next up will be the scientist, the meticulous scientist. Sky Collective, the meticulous scientist. That scientist I hope to stick around a while. Meticulism, or whatever you want to call it, meticulousness, is a trait I very much appreciate. Alright, Savior, you're the next one. I think he's the currently having a ship built for him scientist. That science ship just rolled off the line, so we'll throw you in it and get you to work. Next leader,
Construction
Joint VW. You are my engineer, or engineering researcher. Alright. Fangface and Saichi, thank you again. And Sky Collective gifting out a sub. Sweet, guys. Alright, what do I have? One more? This edge scrolling is, could we not? Oh, whatever. It won't happen all that often. The Latin Deer. That's pretty perfect. Oh, we have two more. The Latin Deer, you are our societal researcher, which makes sense for our Psycaster. And then Saichi, you are the last scientist. Now, if I do fire these scientists, because I'm going to be replacing them, I will name the new hire after you. So if I find a better one and swap, your names will swap. If you die, you'll be replaced. But if you swap, you will not. And then my Supreme Leader is already Allfather Glitch. So I can always change if the ruler becomes female. I can change the title, but he is the Allfather. Just because that makes the most sense for Wendigos. He was always the Allfather. And now, after this, the new systems we annex, once we annex them, we will name them after you guys as well. The big old Wendigo family. So I'm sort of curious about... Yeah, so these guys are technically enslaved. Good. Wendigo slave. Okay. Not that I promote slavery, but hey, we're role-playing here. First things first, I think discovery is just the... You just have to.
Construction venture completed.
It's just what you do. So now I have two construction ships, one following one researcher, one following another. This researcher, let me speed time up, is surveying here, and then this one down here. And we are going to make a mad dash for choke points to try to absorb as much of the territory that is out there as possible. I don't want to be left behind. Slaves, emergency rations. Wendigos see no difference. Taking a look at the buildings that we have. So the Chamber of Elevation will introduce necrophytes into our enslaved population to ascend them to become Wendigos. Much the way we did in the Wendigos when I was playing it on RimWorld. So that's an important building to have, especially on new colonies, if the new colonies were invaded.
A system survey has concluded.
And as a tip of the hat to the Wendigos, I also have the Wendigo soundtrack in the background. Let me know if it's not loud enough. The, ooh, the Fist of God chain. Okay.
The situation log has been amended.
Alright, you want to fight? We'll fight. Let's get the cruiser classes named after someone as well. Or corvettes, rather. Let's see. Dennis Keith, you really wanted it? I'm gonna see if we can rig it for you here. So let's not auto-generate. New design. We'll have the...
An unusual phenomenon has cropped up.
No phenomenons. Dennis. The Dennis class corvettes. Regular weapon slots. I'm probably just going to do a full complement of mass drivers. And... Yep. And there'll be a bit of a menace. Dennis the Menace. Klein isn't here to rig it. Well, I am. Okay, now let's pay attention. So these... First thing I want is survey speed. Making sure that we survey as fast as we can to annex as fast as we can. I'm going to grab Brynnis here, and let's name Brynnis after someone. Okay, it can't be Glitch, so I'll re-roll that in a moment. Glitch is already our supreme leader. Hatback! It's going to be you. The Hatback... Oh, it's unclaimed now, but as soon as it's claimed, it will be the Hatback. And, ooh, an archaeology site. That's very fortunate. Moon Bump. Oh, I don't think that's one of the really good ones. But, beggars can't be choosers.
A system survey has concluded.
Okay, at this point, we are waiting for Alloy to annex. Is that too loud? Yeah, I think it's too loud. So this looks to be a really good choke point to run to. I don't think there's any other choke points back here. And Sky Collective, the scientists, gifting out a whole bunch of gifts today.
A system survey
As did Dennis Keith. You know, there's no need to do that. Alright, so Brynnis, you are now the Hatback.
Construction venture completed.
We probably, what we need to do is get an Admiral out here too. So let's see. Admiral Squarf. Oh, you know what? I don't have enough energy credits just yet. Let me sell some food. And then... Squarf, you're going to be named... Talon. That's a very fitting name for an Admiral, I gotta say. Alright, Talon. Of the Destitute Armada. I don't know if you could be proud of that, but sure, we'll pretend. Alright, I'm going to refit these ships too. It's only 4 alloy a piece. It's really only just renaming them, which is not much. And Slobo, you want to see Yoda. Alright. I can accommodate. Yoda, could you... I'll just turn you around. I should you get a little chair that's like a lazy Susan. I can spin Yoda around. Have him always face you guys. Whoa! Or alternatively,
Our vessels have been
a
reinvigorated.
camera mount that does not fall. It always startles him. I mean, I don't blame him. Wow, we already found dark matter?
Has concluded.
So now that the initial armada is set up, let's go blow up this Fist of God hijacked fleet.
The situation log has been amended. A
And
belligerent fleet has been engaged.
I am also going to sell off some consumer goods because I am eagerly awaiting the ability to annex territory, and I'm impatient.
A system survey has concluded.
So here is my first fight. It's a fight against myself, a hijacked fleet. Looks like they're running from me, though. You can't escape a Wendigo. Come on now, everybody knows this. Ooh, the infinity equation for the technosphere. And I have blown up the cultist ship. I do need a military ship in orbit, but I'm going to repair my current fleet before I do that. I don't believe that this has a... Uh-oh. What Leviathan did I just find? Oh, the Infinity Machine. Yeah. Okay. This is Gargantua. Okay, yep. Got it. Alright, let's repair our fleet. Hat back, you start annexing towards choke points. I'm going to sell a ton of minerals to be able to afford to do that. And then my other ship should do the same. Yoda, come on, man. Do you really have to just turn around every time I spin you around? They want to see you. They want to see you. He's like, no. Leave me alone. I'm grumpy. Let's set up data uplinks for a bit more research from stations. And then this fleet is going to board the cultist ship. Silenced Links, thanks for the follow. Dennis Keith and Sky Collective for all the gifted subs. And really all of you for just showing up. I don't expect anything, to be honest. Okay, this is a very good choke point to control. I would like to control more of this, but one bite at a time. And we also have Faddis to rename, which I am honestly very eager to rename it. So let's get that named. Rasta. Back home, we are running out of jobs. I think probably Death Chronicler. I'm going to get one of those built.
A special project is complete.
Okay, so I boarded the terrorist ships, and we are now going to be pursuing them. So I now have to search Fuye, Gurtab, and Zathmak. There we go. Old Man Ray, thanks for the follow, and Dally Boom as well. Welcome, everybody. So I think at this point it would be good for me to get yet another science ship built. One I am able to afford it. And
Steering clear of belligerents.
so Fuye just found one of the cultist fleets. I'm going to send my admiral out to deal with that. And then my shipyard is going to crank out another science ship to be able to do anomalies and the archaeology site.
A system survey has concluded.
Guher. Alright. Survey Guher. So my construction ship is going to remain idle for a minute. The new scientist, and I do see that I am energy credit negative, but my new scientist will be a faster surveyor. So let's get you in, and your name is Holy Dyer. Perfect. Oh, what was that? Ah, I have to tab out. I'm really bad at that. I will make a point in being knowledgeable about the donation I'm getting. I'm like an idiot when it comes to that. But that was cheese. Oh my goodness. For the constant effort I put in.
A system survey has concluded.
I appreciate it. I cannot wait to put in more. It's awesome to have a job you love. It really is. Okay, so unsurprisingly, Holy Dyer. This ship is called Unhappy House. Can we appreciate that for a second? This is... I didn't name it Unhappy House. It was just Unhappy House. That's the name of the ship. Silenced Hope. Oh my god, Yoda. Alright, forget it. If you want to see Yoda again, you can always redeem it. But he's just turning away from the camera. Like, fussy puppy. Okay, so my scientist that got turned away from that fight, I'm going to start filling in these unsurveyed gaps here. While my fleets deal with the Rebel Armada. These little terrorists. That's what they are, terrorists. With any luck, I won't actually lose any ships. I want to try to keep all my alloys for... Yep, there. Fleet's defeated. I want to keep my alloys for territory annexation and not ship, you know, rebuilding or anything like that. Ooh, Volton Moats just got picked up, where?
An anomaly has been discovered.
Oh, Voldcap. Got it. Oh, Chohar also needs to be named, and First League.
The situation log has been amended.
Okay. Chohar, what are you going to be called? You are going to be called... Nightbot. Oh, no. You're not going to be called Nightbot. Iskander... Oh, wait. Iskander, you renamed yourself? Iskander Boss. Yeah, Nightbot rewarded itself. Nope. That's not how this works. Nightbot sus. Nightbot quite sus. Alright, Jebin's gonna be next.
A system survey has concluded.
Voldop just got annexed. Or just got surveyed. I'm starting to discover new species. And we just found an enclave, which is worrisome because we're xenophobes. We don't really want there to be other species out there. And you know, in due time, that will be fixed. So here is another cultist navy, and this cultist navy is larger, so I'm likely to need some additional ships in this armada, to be honest. Oh, this one is a 300 navy, and this is a 150, so I need a few more ships. Phoenix, thanks for resub. And Q Monster. Hello.
An unusual phenomenon has cropped up. Construction venture completed. Construction venture completed.
Alright, my home planet has one available job. I'm going to build a generator district to make a little bit more money. And then let's also do the constant calculator. I don't really have a scientist able to do the constant calculator just yet. It's kind of like above my head a bit. It's a quest chain that's a little bit more difficult. So once I have a higher level scientist, we can do that. Jebin just got added. So Jebin, you're Mr. Chimmick. Probably have to type this out because I don't think... Oh, no, underscores are allowed. Neat. The constant calculator quest. Okay, I can't even speak. Quest chain. I think a lot of these types of longer quests, your rewards are dependent upon your ethics, or your ethics. So because I'm a xenophobe and because I'm, sort of a isolationist, it will have a different result than if I didn't. So I don't have them all memorized because they're variable.
A system survey has
So we have a primitive society that we can invade and called the Pollen Cloud. They are primitives. Very, very basic world there. Late medieval. They're late medieval. That's what it is. Cool. I'm going to show up and they're going to have no idea how to defend against me, which is delicious. Oh, this scientist should not be idle. So, what is the next best choke point to push to? Maybe this one is the closest, and then this one. Trying to secure as much territory for future generations of Wendigo as possible. My new generator should bring me into energy positive. Or near to it. Nope, not yet. I think that's just because I need to prioritize technician work over other work. And I'll do that. Alright, the curators I just discovered. They must be over here. I can pay them for aid and research, but I do not have anywhere near enough energy credits for that. That's okay.
A study has been completed.
Okay, new research. So our physics researcher is now done. I can research field manipulation to get more energy credits from technicians, and I get a bonus to that research progress because the researcher is a field technician himself. That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Strange happenings afoot.
Alright, alloys are very much my choke point right now. I'm going to sell off some resources to buy up alloys. I haven't found any gates, though. No gates, no wormholes. It's kind of unusual not to find any with how much I've surveyed so far. But they're not guaranteed, so, who knows. Latin Deer just finished the societal research. And next, I am going to get more biodiversity studies. So, more science research from researchers. Or societal research from researchers.
An anomaly has been discovered.
Here is a anomaly of precursor activity. These anomalies are very difficult to analyze, and I'll save until my scientists are a little bit stronger and higher level.
A system survey has concluded.
If we zoom out, what are you? You must be the curators. Okay. If I zoom out, as you can see, I'm near the galactic core. So I'm going to be a core eater, I guess. That's where we'll spread from. Oh man, my
Construction venture completed.
My hunger for
Anomaly has been discovered.
alloys insatiable right now. I'd love to add some more combat ships so my fleet can go smash up the cultist armadas, but I don't have enough. We did just find exotic gases, and we're pushing down the discovery tree for traditions. So this last one just lets our leaders level up 25% faster and lets them level up one extra level. Alright, Wendigo Prime. We have 2 empty jobs, 7 empty housing, a little bit of crime, but not too much. Let's see, is there better governors? No, there's currently not better governors. Well, there's a slave governor. That might be better, actually. So the reason to add a slave governor, if we look at the population, the people who are currently in the position of technician, mining, and farming are slaves. They tend to be slaves. Which means if we had a slave governor, we would get more output in those positions. If that's important. It might be. And if we want to do that, let's get a slave governor. So Dub, you were the last slave governor. You're going to be the next one too. As I said, when I fire one, you swap in. So it's like nothing ever happened. So now, you should see by next month, my energy credits, for instance, should shoot up a bit. Because we get 10% extra. Yep, there it is. A little bit more. And the resources do handle fractions. So there are fractional resources that you don't necessarily see off the top. I'm going to leave Gargantua alone in terms of names because it's a unique system, but I am going to rename Fouye and Mestros.
A system survey has concluded.
So Fouye, you are JDV2. And Mestros, you are Q Monster. So congrats. Now, if you ever, if there's anything ever more important, and you re-win again, you always get the chance to like give up a name and swap over or something like that. You don't have to just be a solar system if you don't want. So this here is less important for me to survey because it's in my own backyard. No one's going to be able to get to it. There's a very good argument to be made that this science ship should start surveying the fringes of my empire, not the inside. But I'm going to have them survey the inside anyway, just in case there's colonies to be had, things of that nature. Speaking of colonizing, let's go and get an army, a Wendigo assault army, out to invade Zigar. Once I annex Zigar.
Strange happenings are afoot.
Ooh, we found some Grey Goo. You don't usually find that so early. So far as I could tell, we haven't discovered another empire yet, which means all of these choke points that I'm finding are still up for grabs, which is it's a very good position to be in. Okay, I'm waiting on influence.
Construction venture completed. A system survey has concluded.
So Voldop needs to get a name. And Fangface, you are its namesake. Next up will be Gooher, or Gooer, whatever you want to call it. Fear campaign. I love it.
An unusual phenomenon has cropped up.
Makes people more xenophobic. Hey, Zealous Zam. Always the big greeting. Should I start singing your Zam Zam song?
Strange happenings are afoot.
Oh God, no. Zam Zam. You came to try to learn this game? Oh boy. Oh, Glitch, the Allfather, now has an eye for talent. So if you're trying to learn this this game, I'll try to explain everything I'm doing. So right now, let me give you the quick primer. Right now, what is very, very important is pushing these hyperlanes to choke points. That is critically important early on. If you do not push the hyperlanes to the choke points, you will limit the amount of expansion you can do early on. This is with my game settings. Your galaxy might be different. You might have a larger galaxy with fewer empires, and therefore choke point rush isn't much of an issue. I play with a small galaxy and a lot of neighbors, which gives me a lot of war. You can set this game up to have like one other person in the whole galaxy and not find them for like 8 hours, but I like to play where I have to fight everyone. Like I'm, you know, I don't know. But I digress. So, Cheese, you are for now going to be Gooer. I suspect you're going to be renamed to something else later, but you'll be the Gooer for now. So yeah, I'm pushing the trade lanes with my scientists. So each survey ship here, each science ship, here I'll show you the science ship. It's hopping from planet and star and moon, all the celestial bodies in a solar system, to survey all of them. And that gives you the ability to annex it when you have enough influence and alloys. Your initial resources, oh man, this is going way more tutorial-like, but your initial resources, energy credits, you can think of them as like money. Minerals, which you could think of them as building materials. Food, which just feeds your population. Consumer goods, which is like commodities, that kind of thing. They keep your pop happy. Alloys, which is primarily to build space stations and ships. Influence, which allows you to annex territories, claim enemy territories, things of that nature. And Unity, which advances your traditions, which is like big research. Then you also have research, but your research is not spent. It's just as you research things, it's used. So, for instance, to get field manipulation, I need to do 2,000 physics research. The way the research trees are a little weird, when I finish research, it will give me a few random options. So there's a hidden research tree in the back somewhere where you could look it up on the wiki, but you don't normally know what your research tree is, but you're branching from a tree that's kind of invisible, which is different than most 4X games. Then what else? We have rare resources, which I have none yet, but these come and play later in the game. You have administration capacity. The admin capacity, or your empire sprawl, is a penalizer for when you've sprawled out too big. Like, think the United Kingdom, where they own everything. There's a big penalty. This is sort of a game mechanic to slow down behemoths and to let people catch up. There's ways to game it where behemoths aren't slowed, but that doesn't really matter. Then I have envoys. Envoys allow you to influence your other powers. So there's like other empires, and you can improve or worsen relations with your envoys. There's also a galactic community. Think of like the Federation in Star Trek or whatever, where you can send your envoys to represent you better. And then you've got your empire population, which is just based upon your growth rate, whether you're feeding them or not, whether you enslave more people, whatever. Starbase capacity, which is how many starbases you can build. A starbase, starbases can act as like defenses, they can act as like shipyards, they can act as a whole bunch of different things. But they're good to help protect your territory and to improve your territory. And then you've got naval capacity, which is how many ships you can support. And yes, I know I just blew up your brain, but yeah. Anytime I touch on something, I'll try to explain it well, if this is to be a bit of a tutorial, because why not? So these up here are just alerts. They're basically your news feed, going from oldest on the left to newest on the right. So it just told me that I finished surveying, whatever this is called. What are you called? Chandara. And Chandara, I have an anomaly here that I would need to analyze to figure out what that is. I'm not dedicating my scientists for that right now, but I have my map mode details here showing all of the resources I don't have. So there's minerals and physics research to be had in Chandara. So right now my focus is, like I said, pushing the trade lanes. So for instance, if I owned Hatrim, it would be impossible for anyone from over here to get to this area. That is the purpose of owning trade lanes and choke points. I have a policy. Oh boy, policies. Oh boy. So I have a diplomatic stance of isolationist, and a first initial border status is closed. So anytime I meet new people, I give them the finger, and then I close my borders to them. Which means if I own choke points, they can't ever get behind it. And then if their ships are like, their ships just won't be able to enter the boundaries of my empire by my own laws. They would have to go to war with me to come into my territory. Ooh, so who did I just find? I just found, this is, it looks like a, ooh, what are you? It is some sort of explorer from another empire, and it looks like a robotic ship. And I just, you know, called them Xenoscum, but this is the first potential, this is first contact. Do you put a science ship to assist research on my planet early, or do I keep exploring as it is more important? Personally, I keep exploring. There is a little bit of a benefit for early scientist aid in helping out your homeworld, which I tend to do around this point, actually, where I'll look for leaders that could be good at that, like this guy. And then I'll roll out a science ship to do that. But until you've established and surveyed your choke points, just do choke points. It's going to be more important. Because the amount of science that a scientist helping your homeworld is going to provide pales in comparison with annexing like 5 stars or something like that, you know?
Construction venture completed.
Yeah. So I always go choke point because it sucks. I've had games where you get stuck because you didn't catch the first choke point. And it's basically just game over. Unless you are really, really good at the game and you can fight your way out of a handicap. And some people can. But, yeah. Not everyone. Oh, Sky Collective, leveling up. I knew you were going to be an asset. So if I'm finding Xenoscum over at Cornagi, or whatever this place is called, Cornagi, I am going to have to push this choke point sooner than later. I don't know if they came from the east or the south, but either way, the sooner I annex this, the better. So this, as much as I want to get Hothram here, I think it's going to have to wait until I find enemies. Alright, tradition. This is my last. So traditions are sort of what your empire is going to focus on as a culture. You can think of this as culture. So research is science, and traditions are sort of culture. So culturally, the first investment I did was discovery, which helps to survey quicker and advance science a little bit more. It is the science culture. Each of these cultures, each of these traditions represent a certain type of ethic. So harmony is spiritualism, or adaptability. Well, I don't even know what adaptability is. It's whatever. Prosperity is like materialism and mercantilism. Expansion, dominion, supremacy is war. Domination is, like, yeah, they all have their own sort of bend. So right now, for me, my species here, I've set up as, oh, that's the wrong screen. My species are set up as, where's my ethos? Why am I totally drawing a weird blank. Something I've done like a bajillion times. Brain. Wait, where's my government ethics? Oh, that would be... Yeah, click the flag. Alright, so I am phonetic xenophobe. So very xenophobic. And I'm also authoritarian, which means I can enslave. So xenophobia allows you to purge enemies, and authoritarianism allows you to have a stratified economy where you have different tiered, different tiered standards for the people living, so that you can pay your slaves nothing, you can pay your like elite a lot more, so on and so forth. And then xenophobia allows you to enslave enemies and purge aliens. You know, and it will not allow you to allow refugees and stuff like that. And we are also necrophages, which means, and the whole idea behind necrophage, if I go to the species tab, you have two tiers. You have your necrophage tier, which is your high tier, and they do science and culture real well, but they don't do mining and farming very well. Actually, they have a huge penalty to that. Minus 75% output for, or 10% output for working, and 75% decrease in just population growth. They basically don't breed much at all. But what you can do is you can ascend your slaves to the tier of Wendigo every 10 years. You can ascend 3 per planet. Okay, so this is the new scientist that is going to aid in Wendigo research. And let's actually see. Right now, my research is 81 points. So after we assist research, we'll see numerically how much that has helped. So this assisting research, which is what Voneth Saul asked, at the end of the month it will recalculate. So it added 3 research. It basically added about one research per type of science from the assist. So that's from 81 to 84. As I said, it's not a huge effect. It's not a huge effect. We just finished the discovery tree, and I should hydrate, sure. Actually, Hippie, I missed yours as well. Yeah, I have slaves for mining. Our lifespan is normal, but the act of being a necrophage gives us an added 80 years on top of it, and I'll add to that as we go. So I got my first Ascension Perk. The Ascension Perks are like giant boons that you can have, and I'm going to let you decide between One Vision, which is extra unity to gain more traditions and perks. My population uses less consumer goods, and governing ethics attraction, which means the ethics that my people are attracted to will be xenophobia and will be authoritarianism versus other ethics. So there's no ethical divergence, which is a big problem for rebellions later on, or technical ascendancy, which is I research 10% faster and rare technologies show up a little bit more commonly. So let me pull for that. I'll just call it Unity and Research for ease of typing it out.
Strange happenings.
So these strange happenings are just anomalies that I'm finding. Anomalies would be like, you know, think of like Star Trek, like, oh, this planet has something weird, but we have to go like down to the surface to analyze. That's what an anomaly is, and it costs time in days. So this anomaly has a base cost of 300 days. Because of the skill of my scientist, we bring it down to 250 days. I'm leaving these for now because we'll come back for them later when surveying isn't so important. Do you get to play the Mass Effect probing game? No, but there is some choices often to be made of like, you know, it's like what's behind door A, B, or C in some cases. And these choices matter. Alright, so you all say go with the research. Or not all, but enough of you that I feel pretty confident. So now we are technically ascending. which is a good, really a pretty solid first Ascension Perk to pick up. Especially as our Empire Sprawl increases. That's going to be really dangerous as a, my kind of culture, this sort of necrophage spread virus, is going to require a lot. And I mean a lot of Empire Sprawl, because we're going to try to take over everything.
Anomaly has been discovered.
Oh, they have a little station here, don't they? I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to send my armada as fast as I can to go blow that station up before I discover who they are. Yep. Already warring. I don't even know who they are, and I want to blow them up. So what else have I? Sasamar, I am currently annexing, and then I'll try to get to Kornagi when I get there. Or whatever it's called. So this might be a failed choke point that I failed to capture. We'll have to see. Yeah, we smell blood in space. Somehow. It's all our psi-casting powers. That's what it is. Now, I know I haven't explained the planet view, but let me take a minute to explain that one too. So you have 4 basic districts, and this applies to most of the types of planets you're going to have. You have city districts, which is just basically housing. A few clerk jobs, and what clerk jobs will do is they'll increase the amenities and trade value. I'll explain that in a minute. But housing, and your housing can be seen here. So right now, I have housing for 34 people, and I have 30 people. Or, no, that's not right. I have 34 people, and I have 6 available housing, rather. So I have plenty of housing overhead. I don't need to build housing. Then you have jobs, and here I have some available jobs. One clerk job is free, as you can see at the bottom of this thing. But that does mean that I'm going to need to build some additional workplaces on this planet. Your other districts are generators, which is for people that work to produce power, which is kind of like currency. Mining districts, which is building materials, more or less. Or farming districts for food. And I'm looking at my resources up here. As you can see, I'm doing pretty good on everything. I'm probably going to add a generator district when I can afford it. To add more jobs to my homeworld, Wendigo Prime.
A system survey has concluded.
And then in here, these are special buildings. The special buildings unlock when you hit certain population milestones, up to 75 population. So right now, my population on this planet is 34. So as you can see, in one more person, one more population, I will get a new building slot. And that will unlock soon. When will this unlock? This will unlock... I'm getting my progress to one more pop, and you can think of a pop as like 1 million or something like that. It's just an arbitrary number. But I'm growing at 3.9 rate, and once I hit 100, I get a new slave. So my slaves are reproducing or whatever. So it's going to be a little while. What are the tile blockers on this planet? So the tile blockers here. So a tile blocker is like a industrial waste site, or like, you know, a glacier or something that stops you from building and expanding. And my tile blockers in this planet are industrial wastelands and sprawling slums that I can clear for money. But I'm not out of space right now, so I'm not really going to worry about that. But I have 3 blockers, so they are 2 industrial wastelands and 1 sprawling sun, and they would cost me energy credits. Sometimes you can get planetary features here. So these different features are saying, oh, this fungal forest gives me more agriculture. This, you know, rich mountain gives me more mining. And that sort of determines what the maximum amount is. So like my homeworld here has a pretty high maximum amount of mining districts. Every planet will be a little bit different. So Zigar here has a lot of agriculture and mining, and they have dust motes, which is a specialty one. So if I take over Pollen Cloud here, I'll be able to mine dust motes at huge discount, which is very powerful mid-game.
A system survey has concluded.
Very, very powerful mid-game. Alright, so I'm going to assume that these guys came from over here, because I think I saw their ships come in from this unknown direction. Oh, it's dust motes, not mites. It's volatile motes, exotic gases, rare crystals, living metal, Zro, dark matter, and nanites. Those are the sort of rarer resources you get later on. So really early on, yeah, you want to be hitting the trade lanes so that you maximize the amount of territory that you can annex. And then if there's any really high priority planets, like super resource rich planets, hit those up too. Those are pretty important as well. Thank you for watching Stellaris Wendigos Episode 1, which originally aired live on Twitch. This series isn't properly scheduled, so if you'd like to catch a live stream of it, your best bet is to join Discord. The link can be found at Rhadamant.com. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Farewell.